What's happening, everybody? This is Aaron with Oklahoma Fishing and Adventure, and yesterday I came to you and I showed you some new toys that I just bought for the boat. So I'm out here, I got the boat uncovered. I'm getting ready to start doing some of the install, and I figured I'd show you guys some of the way that I'm gonna have to do all this stuff. I'm not gonna show you everything, but just a quick video. Looks like I'll be able to save this ram mount here. I do have it mounted to the new fish finder, and it looks great. Big thing is, big changes, we got to snake these guys out so that we can pull the new cables in. Same thing up front. So here on the trolling motor here, in my last video, this is the guy that it's just kind of loose. No matter what I do, I can't get it to stay. I'm missing some of the pieces inside here, so this guy's coming off. And then same thing, this is the mount for the Lowrance unit that I've got. It's got to come out. Once again, I got this cable I'll have to take loose, pull it out so that I can snake the new cable through. Up here I did this a little different than what most people do. Most people try to bring that cable all the way up, but on these motors, this box here is a sealed box and you can't run your cable through it. So what I did is I just came up, wrapped around this trolling motor several times, and then just ran up here so that I could break off. The power goes here, and so you can see I got this cable goes inside and it comes out here, and that's what plugs into that Lowrance unit. Then on the back here, the only real modification that I may have to do is back here with this guy. You need this guy to sit just, really it should be just at the bottom of the boat. This hangs down a little further, but this one's probably got a different mounting technique than what I have, so I bet I have to re-drill back here on the back of the boat, which it's not that big of a deal. You just got to make sure that you use your sealant, because that is below your water line. So anyway, I'm gonna gather some tools and I'm gonna get started, and I'm just gonna show you guys the highlights of what it takes, and then I'll show you the finished product of what this thing looks like. Catch you in a few minutes. All right, guys, got everything removed from the front, so I'm getting ready to put it back together. Started looking at the wiring. This is a harness that comes with you. You'll notice you have a red, you have a black, you have a brown, and a blue. The brown and the blue are only going to be used if you're connecting them with an older unit. I think it was the 6 series, but this will allow you to network them so you can share waypoints. I'm not using that with mine. I'm actually going to use a network cable once I buy one, but that's later down the road. So don't be surprised. You're going to see 4 wires. You only need 2. So you got your positive, your fuse, and your negative. So shouldn't be too awful bad. Shouldn't be much different than what you already had. All right, guys. So I ran into kind of an interesting spot. I got it figured out, so I'm going to kind of share with you guys. So this is whenever you're mounting on the front on the trolling motor. You got this guy here, which is actually really nice. This guy is supposed to go on here, and then the curved part will sit right on your trolling motor. But this cable is kind of a pain in the butt. So what you do, if you look right in here, you have a track, and then you have a track that goes down. So what you got to do is grab this guy, put it in the side track there, and then if you look on the inside, you want to route it down inside like that. So you can see I'm off on where it needs to be. So you just got to kind of slide it down. There we go. Basically like that, until you get it where it sits flat. Don't think you can see it, but where the screws line up, which is right there. And then of course, I didn't have a screwdriver with me. Just get one of those guys started, and then each screw you got a little lock washer. So you got a lock washer screw. Just like that. So I got 2 screws in, so it's going to hold it. Now it's all one piece, nice and flat, and cords sit here where it'll run up the trolling motor. Alright, thanks guys. Alright guys, front trolling motor's almost done. Got everything mounted, so I'm going to give you a quick tour of it. Look at this thing right here. Don't have these cables routed yet. I'll get to that here in a minute. But so what I've done is I just wrapped cables around, because this motor is capable of rotating 360 degrees. So as that motor spins around, you got to have slack down there, otherwise it'll pull tight and can actually snap your line. So I've got everything powered. Got to finish routing these guys, get everything buttoned back up, but we're almost done with the front. Now we're on to the hard stuff, the one in the back. Alright guys, so I got the electrical part of this done up here. So now I've got my snake hooked up here. And so now, here's my line here. Let's go into that transducer. So now I just got to see if this guy will pull without problems or not. Alright everyone, I'm back. Forgot I did have access right here that I could take loose, so I did get this cable ran. It's all the way back here, and there's a connector for my old transducer. So now this guy, all this cabling is external now, so I can take all this guy off, and then now I tied the connector. Should have brought it with me. Now what I gotta do is take this guy loose and do the same thing. Tape this guy, where is it? There we go. Tape this guy up to that, so that then I can reverse the process, leave this back here on the transom, have this up at the console. It's not too hard. It just takes a little bit of time, and it's really a 2-person job. But 1 person can do it. Yes, I'd have to shove a little line in up here first and then go to the back and pull some through, but it came through pretty well. So, alright. Next is to work with the transducer, so let's see what happens. Alright guys, so I got the old, where are we at? There we go. This is where the old mount was. It worked okay for the Humminbird, but I got 2 little purple dots up here. That's where I think it needs to be, because basically what's got to happen, sorry, hard to hold the camera and everything, is we want the base of that thing to be pretty much even with the bottom of the boat. So what I did is I marked these holes, and that'll give me still about 1 inch that I can move up and down if I need to. But the most important thing is anytime you take a screw out, it needs to be sealed up, and you need to put the original screw back in. Don't forget that, because even just sealing it up, it will eventually wear out and start leaking, and you don't want to do that. So you can use any type of tub and tile. I actually use windshield gasket maker. It's black, but where I'm putting it, you won't even notice it. So anyway, I'm going to seal this up, get those 2 holes drilled, and get this guy mounted, and then I'll let you see where I'm at. Well, I guess I was going to show you what I do. So I literally coat the threads completely in it. And what I want is I want to leave that stuff there, so when I drive the screw in, it'll make basically a gasket around it, because I don't want any water. This boat doesn't leak at all, and I want to make sure it stays that way. So I'm going to go ahead and seal this up, and then I'll show you the finished product here in just a minute. Alright guys, so once you're done, that's basically what it looks like. I'm not going to scrape any of that off until it dries. I want to give it enough time for that to really set up. and then you can just kind of scrape that off, and that way you've basically got a gasket underneath it. All right, guys, we're getting there. Got her mounted. So now the only thing left is I got a few cable clamps that are going to go up here, and then I'll be ready to snake that guy through. So let's get these guys done. I'll be doing the same thing, coating these guys in the black silicone, screwing it down, and it should be good for several years. All right, guys, get this guy all wrapped up. So my connector's up here. Make sure that you make kind of a point with the electrical tape. That way when you start pulling it, I do have one real turn that I've got to do here. You want to make sure that that's done like that so that you can get around those corners. So once you got that going where you want to go, as I pull on it until I hit something, and then come back here and see if I can see what's going on with it. We are loose there. There we go. And every time you hit something, I said you just kind of play with it a little bit. I can already see it. All right. So there that is. So now we're back up here. Now you don't have to use an actual snake like what I have. You can use wire, you can use whatever. You just want something fairly rigid so it doesn't get caught up every time it makes a bend. There we go, guys. Okay, guys, I got her mounted. So there's one more thing. If you see this guy here, how it has its ring, the transducer one does not. So if you look in your kit, you're gonna have a little guy that looks like this. Let's see if I can get it open. I can indeed. Okay. So if you look down inside this guy, I think you might be able to see it. You have threads on this side and it's flat on this side. So what you want to do then, this guy is going to go on here, but I've actually got it backwards. It's going to go just like that with the threads to the outside. So when you bend it, it'll break. Okay. And then it'll kind of lay on itself like that right there. And then push on it, it locks in. Okay, so good news is, guys, we are ready to try this thing. Terrible camera work, let me tell you. Okay, transducer's hooked up. Line the cables up. And moment of truth, guys. Now, let's look at this. How about this is stock fishing maps. I've done nothing. This is just how it booted up. Now, if you notice, it shows basically where we are. And here's Skytook Lake. There's all the contour lines. So the only thing I haven't done is moved over my waypoints from my Humminbird. Alright, guys. There's unit number 2. And I got this all cleaned up. Yeah, there's my power console, my tilt and trim, throw my trolling motor plugs in. Cords are a mess. I will come back probably tomorrow because you can tell it's getting dark, and I have this spiral wrap. I'll wrap it up on there so that everything's nice and protected. It also helps keep that coil so that those wires don't get caught in the transducer. And there we go. Man, guys, I don't know what to say. It's crazy to think that I have these two beasts of a unit on my old boat. This one especially. This one is beautiful here. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this kind of helped you a little bit. Like I said, installing trolling motors is not hard. You just got to kind of take your time and do things right. The snaking the cables can be difficult if you're by yourself. Once again, just don't go yanking on stuff. Take your time, make sure that everything's free, because you don't want to cut one of your brand new cables. That would be awful. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this kind of gives you insight on how to install the new units. But there is a very important thing that really needs to happen before I leave this video. Oh yeah, that's better. One more time. Oh. I like it. I like it a lot. There we go, guys. And that's that. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you on the next one.